a quick, so if you haven't seen this sheet yet, so this is one of the presentation parts for you guys. But this is kind of what we're going to be doing this week. We're going to meet really quick. It shouldn't be more than 15, 20 minutes every day at 11:30. Just a quick introduction as to what you guys will be doing each day, and you can go through and you can either complete some things after we're done, or you can kind of work on it as we go through and do it. But I'm just going to kind of show you guys a couple different tools, and like especially the Desmos graphing tool today. If you guys haven't learned about quadratics or parabolas yet, we're going to go through just real quick, a brief introduction to it today as well. Tomorrow we're going to be looking at the roots. So if you've done factoring already, just a quick, let me go back to here. Quick show of hands of people that have done factoring. Has anyone done that yet? A couple. All right. So if you have done factoring, that's good. If you haven't, that's fine. I'll go through that pretty quick with you guys. I feel like you'll be able to pick up on that pretty quick. So we'll kind of go through doing that and graphing the roots of a parabola. So being able to look at the graph of that. And then Wednesday, you're going to go through and kind of start something. You're going to find something around your house and graph it. And then on Thursday, we're going to look at something else. You're going to go through and actually create a presentation that you're going to share with everyone else. And then you're going to kind of submit it and present your presentation to other people on Friday if you wanted. And then Thursday and Friday, I'm also going to add a little competition in for those days, so you can do something, it might be something a little bit different than what we're doing, but give you something else to do and kind of compete against one another, which would be kind of fun. So we'll go through and we'll look at that as you're doing this. And if you guys have, obviously, if you have any questions along the way, obviously, please ask. You can either send me an email, or if you want to meet up in a Google Hangouts, you can always do that as well as we go through and do this. So just a quick introduction to, I'm going to just quickly go through and look at, hopefully this pops up, this quadratics page. So looking at what quadratics and parabolas are, sorry. So if you haven't seen quadratics or parabolas yet, that's completely fine. We're going to go through, and this is a really brief introduction as to what they are. I know all of you have seen a line. So a line is just y equals mx plus b. But a parabola is when we deal with this equation. So when we have something x squared, so we say it's ax squared plus bx plus c, and it looks a lot like this. So it either looks this way going here, or it could actually go upside down and make more of an upside down U shape, where the a, b, and c values are all just numbers. So we plug in certain numbers for them, and I'm going to show you that in a second. Okay, so this y is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c is what we're specifically going to be looking at. So what this equation is, so when we dealt with y equals mx plus b, the m and the b stood for a couple different things. The m stood for slope, and the b stood for y-intercept, right? So instead of that, what we're going to be looking at is this ax squared plus bx plus c, where the a, b, and c all mean different things. So as those numbers change, just like how if the slope or the y-intercept change, our graph changed, the slope changed, or the y-intercept, it moved the graph up and down. As a, b, and c change, they do the same thing. So a makes the graph a little bit wider, or what we would say is steeper. If it's positive, it opens up like a U. If it's negative, it makes the whole graph open down, more like an N or an upside down U. As the B changes, it moves it left and right. It does move it up and down a little bit, but it mostly moves the graph left and right. If it's positive, it moves it to the left. If it's negative, it moves it to the right. So that's kind of flipped. And then the C value, just like what the B value is, it's the y-intercept. If the C value is positive, it moves it up. If it's negative, it moves down. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to look at it on Desmos real quick. I'm going to share this presentation with you guys as well through email. I'll send it with the video of this presentation. But just as you're going through, if you didn't know how to enter a squared or something on your computer or calculator, if you have this caret button, it's called a caret. It's, if you look at number 6 on your keyboard, that means to the blank power. So if I'm writing down x squared, or if I wanted to write x to the second power, you would just type x and then caret 2. So that's kind of how we would go through and just kind of look at that. Um, so here's, I'm going to send you this link as well, but it's on this presentation, but I'll send you this as well. Here's, if you've gone through, raise your hand if, can I come back here? Raise if you've seen Desmos before, used Desmos. A lot of you guys. So if you go to Desmos, it's kind of cool if you're doing anything with math and you just go to Google. Like I went to Google and I just typed in Desmos y equals ax squared plus bx plus c, and this kind of cool tool came up where you can change the a, b, and c numbers. So if we're looking at different values, so say if we had the a is 1, we'll keep the b being 0, and let's make the c equal to 2. So what this graph would be y is equal to 1x squared plus 0x plus 2. And that's actually the same graph as this one. If you notice, this graph, it's just kind of going right on top of it. So it would be the same graph, and it changes as you change and move your A value. If you change your B value, notice it moves it to the left or to the right, depending on if it's positive or negative. It moves it up and down a little bit, but it mostly moves it left and right. But for right now, we're mostly going to be looking at the A and the C value. And what you can actually do, which is something cool on Desmos, which I don't know if too many people know, but what you can actually do is you can add an image, and this is what we're going to be doing a lot this week. So as you go through, if you hit this plus button up here, there's a button here where you can add an image. So if I click on adding an image, I can take any image off the internet, something that I've saved. Like, so I saved a picture of the Eiffel Tower, and it'll actually put it right on your graph for you. And you can make it bigger, you can make it smaller. And depending on this middle point, you can move it up, you can move it down. So I'm going to move it up a little bit to here. And what you guys are actually going to be doing this week is you're going to be taking pictures of different things around your house. You're going to find different values on or different pictures and stuff on the internet, and you're actually going to go through. And those pictures have to have something. Like if you look at the Eiffel Tower, it has a graph of a parabola that's upside down. So what I can actually do is I can move these sliders around and try figuring out, well, how can I get it so that this graph looks just like the bottom of that Eiffel Tower? So I can do some certain things, like I can make this smaller, so maybe like 0.01 or 0.05, so 0.07. So as I'm making it bigger, and then if I move this C value up, notice I'm getting something that's close to the equation as to what this graph actually is. And that's some things that you guys are actually going to go through and do kind of throughout the week, which is kind of cool. Just being able to look at different equations and being able to find different, even if you have seen this equation before, I know some of you might have, some of you might have not, but it's similar to the equation of a line where if I'm graphing something like, say if I wanted to graph y is equal to 2x plus 1, well, that creates a line where if I change the 2 to like a 6, it makes it steeper. If I make it a negative, like a -2, it goes the opposite way. So you guys are going to kind of be doing the same thing, but with these different types of quadratics and parabolas. So the graph here is actually called a parabola. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at different things like that. And kind of looking at that. And we're actually going to really start that off a little bit more tomorrow. Today was more of just an informational thing. But if you kind of want to play around with this, I'm going to send you the email with this link to it so you can look at adding different pictures to it. You can start kind of looking around your house or looking on the internet for pictures of different things that have parabolas in it. I'm sure there's a lot of different things you can find. There's different foods like bananas that are in the shape of a parabola, or you can look at different buildings in the world, or maybe different structures around your household that have certain things. So it's just kind of starting and looking at that. So you guys don't have any work that you guys have to do by tomorrow. Maybe just kind of look around your house and kind of see different things and find different things that you can go through and kind of look through and see as different things that like look like parabolas as you go through and do, if that kind of makes sense. So does that kind of make sense to a lot of you guys as you go through and do? Just a thumbs up kind of works for those of you that you're So if you do have questions as you're going through, I'm going to go through actually tomorrow and show you how we can do this even without those slides. You can create these different equations, and you're going to be able to go through. You're going to find your own certain things around your house. You're going to find certain pictures online and actually create them and kind of give a quick little presentation or just an image of it. And what I'm going to kind of gather them all together, and you guys are going to kind of be able to look at each other's, and whether it's something around the world or something around your house, something kind of cool to kind of start off and look and see where these parabolas are used in the real world. So, but other than that, I don't. That's kind of the lesson for you guys. I will send out what we just went through here. So if you do have other questions or you kind of want to see what I did again, there'll be a quick. I'm going to turn this video into a YouTube video so you can just kind of go through and look at it. If you guys have any questions on that. So does anyone have any questions right now? If you're good, you can give me kind of a thumbs up, or you can type over here in the chat. You're good. Good, Owen. Owen and Owen, good. All right, good, Chris. Okay. So yeah. So once again, if you guys have any questions throughout this week, just please, for whatever reason, you can't make one of the meetings. Okay, just send me an email, and I can send you the video as we go through and do it. But other than that, you guys have a good day. I will see you guys tomorrow at 11:30. It's kind of same time. It's actually going to be the same link, so you're going to click on the same link, but I'll send that in an email tomorrow as well, so you can easily see it and access it right away. So other than that, you guys are good to go if you're all set. Remember, you don't have anything you have to do tonight. That was just a quick introduction of the Desmos and kind of what we're going to be going through and doing in the week. All right? Good. So if you want, you can log off. If you just go through, if you know how to log off, if you look at the white tab button on the bottom, there should be a red phone. If you click that, that just logs you off. And I will see you guys tomorrow. All right?